Is having 240 watts or FTP for a girl above average?
It's a gold standard.
Gold standard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally come and I am getting my bike fit. My very first bike fit since being in the sport for 4 years. So I have been seeing a lot of people getting bike fits online, and I know that I've needed one for a really long time. So today is the day. I'm getting the full-on Retool fit. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but Retool. I'm getting all the stickies and wires on myself, and hopefully I'll be able to dial in my position for this season. Spencer's coming along to help film. Hello, Mr. Film Man. We're going to Racer Sportif in Oakville, and Frank's gonna do my bike fit for me.
So I'm Frank from Racer Sportif. Today we did a Retool 3D motion capture fitting with Erin on her Cervelo P2, and I think that we were able to make some pretty decent performance gains there and gains in efficiency.
There's just a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned. The bearings in the headset were fine.
Okay.
Again, just cleaning everything up for you, buddy.
Awesome, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Everybody, this is James. He's going to be helping pimp out my bike.
There we go, buddy.
Get it all cleaned up because it is destroyed. It is, yeah, I put it through 3 races last year, no maintenance.
And so some people, they come in and it's more of a sharpening. So like their baseline is good and you just need to, you know, enhance it. Where we have some people, they walk in and it's like a mitigated disaster, right? Like it's just everything's all over the place.
I'm nervous that that's gonna be me.
I don't think so. It's very uncommon.
Got
so this
this.
is your baseline. It just basically
Whoa, that is so cool.
Chalks up all your contact points. So we're going to keep that. So
That's
now,
awesome.
so now we're going to go through an assessment. So our first part of the assessment is just understanding, you know, why you're here today, like what your rider goals are, and like what your objectives are, like what do we want to achieve today, you know, based off of like how you ride, how much you ride, you know what goals you have in mind, you know, if it's races or events, stuff like that. Some people, they just want to purely be comfortable, and then we'll look at, you know, how do you feel on the bike. And what are some of like the troubling issues for you, so that we can start to focus on those things to see if we can make some improvement.
Should I sit like?
Yeah, so get your ischial bones, so like your sit bones right in that cavity there.
Bones are.
Yep, so just like you want to sit like 90 degrees, feet flat on the floor like that. Yeah. So 120 apart. So that's not like how wide your saddle should be. Okay. That's just the distance between those ischial bones. So if we look on a specialized chart, for example, so at 120, they have you somewhere north of 140 mil.
Okay.
So there are some people that are much wider, where, you know, this is not as common. I'd say like the commonality tends to be there. I'm kind of here. Okay. I need something that's around 150, and it does make a difference. And the reason why there's an emphasis played on ischial bone width is that's the lowest hanging point of your pelvis, and those are the bone landmarks in which you want to anchor. And if you anchor and support those bone landmarks, it's doing several things. So first and foremost, it's propping the centric part of your pelvis away from the seat.
Okay.
So you're not agitating any critical arteries and glands that reside in that area. You're improving blood flow. You're also improving your spin scan, so you're able to improve someone's ability to power the pedals on the sagittal plane, so both left and right side of the body. You're also providing the rider with a plane which enables us to establish a particular hip angle, which is not only going to improve, you know, how you're actually pedaling the bike and what muscles are recruited. Ideally, we want to load up the bigger muscle sets, you know, towards on the upper portion of the lower extremity. But we're also able to establish a particular posture on the bike, which is more efficient too, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how your hips are rotated, that's actually going to change the curvature setting of your spinal cord. And so what you can see is when you get towards that 90-degree point, your knee goes, it goes valgus, right?
Yeah.
So it drives towards the inside, and sort of why this is happening is because your feet right now, they're exposed. So what happens if you look, like your foot's scavenging for traction, and so what ends up happening is your knee is trying to pick up on what your foot is doing. Your foot is very active. And then what happens is now your hip's trying to pick up on what your knee's trying to do. So you have this segregation in communication between those three areas, right? You know, our feet were really meant to shock absorb our body weight when we walk and run. You know, we got 38 integral bones in our feet floating around. So like as your foot's trying to take on a good chunk of your body weight, it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? And that's be compliant. But the thing is, the way that translates on the bike is it creates that disconnection. So imagine if we were to give your foot more structure underneath, so we were to support your plantar better. Like I could take almost one of those insoles or the custom one, put it on the floor without your shoe, without it being in your shoe, stand on that and do the same exercise, and you will not be able to tell me that it's not so much easier to do. This is also a little bit concerning for me too.
I know.
Not the end of the world,
I knew you were gonna say that.
Because it's 170, and you know some of the stuff you're experiencing in your hip. So you got to think, what does a long crank do? Is it opens you up more and it closes you up more. And so that's why we're seeing this trend towards shorter cranks, even for really tall people with long inseams, especially for them, because they really open up and they really close up, right? And so what happens is keeping your hip angle too closed off all the time. You know, the theory initially was longer cranks, you know, can provide the rider more leverage to produce power. I don't know if anyone's been able to scientifically prove that accurately, but the one thing we do know, you know, through the world of bike fit, especially at this level, is you think of fitting your bike like blueprinting, and those little finite tolerances, they make a big deal. So if you're someone that doesn't have the range of motion to support a long or low position, what will happen is, you know, and we saw that when we did the tracked assessment monitoring beyond pitch angle of your pelvis, you'll hit your stopping point, and a lot of that is based off of hamstring flexibility. So as you try to rotate your hips to accommodate to that frontal position, your hamstrings will limit how much you can rotate forward, and then what ends up happening is you'll typically just drag yourself off the seat.
Oh, I actually do notice that I slide forward on my seat.
They also,
I don't know if that's
the angle of your saddle is quite a bit negative, and I understand the reasoning for that. Like, you want to encourage range of motion to be able to rotate your hips forward, but you have to be careful how much of that you adopt, because what you'll do is you'll trade pelvic stability for that range. And then the front end of your bike starts to be a lot more reliant upon supporting that way. You know, your handlebar sits typically lower than your saddles. That's to establish a particular hip angle, right? It's a hip opener. You want to open up that angle. It's like a downward dog in yoga, right? It's just how much of that can you adopt? You know,
Well,
how much of that
yoga,
can you sustain?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to get a little more arrow. I mean, as long as it's doable.
Slam it.
Well, we also know what your back angle is in terms of your personalized range, so we'll see what you are once we get all the markers on you.
Okay. My elbow is on the pad, like it's not.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
So these sensors over here communicate with the camera over there, and essentially what we're doing is we're isolating bone landmarks to create angles. And what that enables us to do is see what's happening as you're pedaling in real time.
I feel like I'm in a sci-fi movie.
Making video games.
Yeah.
This is actually similar technology. That's why games look like
Oh, is
there's so much
it?
realism, like in terms of like how like an avatar moves in a video game. It's because it's like, if for a sports game, for example, they'll take an athlete, they put the same stuff on them and they film them.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's how Just Dance is made too.
Yeah, because it's all range of motion. Right?
Yeah.
So this is seeing everything in real time.
That's pretty cool.
So I want to bring you up to about 70 RPM, just so that the harness connects with the camera. What you do is drop your heel, and then when I instruct you to do so, I want you to start to slowly raise your heel all the way up like that.
my, I
Never
know,
mind
and
aggressive,
you know,
but it's not like we're looking to take you from one spectrum to the other.
to the other, yeah, maybe, well, even like learning this now over the next like 3-4 years.
That's the only reason why I want to get a bike today, so I could get the whole,
Want to do that.
the
Doesn't matter
180.
what happens.
That was cool. I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Does everybody film their bike fit?
Sorry?
Does everybody?
Not everyone.
No.
Seeing act now of like your perception, like how you feel on the bike
Okay.
in terms of like pressure. So we're just gonna change her knee forward a foot. I'm gonna improve in terms of the correlation between her femoral lateral condyle and her fifth metatarsal. So there's a certain proximity that we're looking for, and given that we're working with a tri bike for triathlon application, we don't have any restrictions.
Okay.
In terms of improving that, but at the same time as we bring her forward, that makes her more upright, which actually gives us more allowance to see how much we can play in the front, bring you down a bit more, which we need to do anyways.
Just take them all. Just slam me down.
Slam that baby.
Yeah.
No, I know that like I can't just go from 0 to 100, but I would if I could.
Even if we just get you into your range to start, that should be enough of a change and it will make more of a seamless transition in which you have to acclimate to. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of our nature, Frank. Erin and I just kind of go from
Just
0 to
go for the
100.
gusto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take some advice from Drake. He went to 0 to 100 real quick. Okay, so go into arrow.
It actually feels more comfortable.
She said that feels more comfortable.
It seems to be. So the knee is the concern?
No.
With the lateral
No, it's not. No,
travel? Oh.
we've actually reduced it.
Oh, that's good.
So it came in at 29, now it's at 22.
Oh. Ooh. How's the weather?
It's perfect.
Oh,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just right.
sunny.
That hint of cold and
Yeah, that's
Be
awesome.
even better tomorrow. Really well.
Okay.
And you're way more aero.
I'm way more arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But the reality is, like, can we establish a position on this bike? We absolutely can. I think we could extrapolate more if we had you on the next size down, which in this bike I think is the 48.
Yeah.
Shorter cranks,
Yeah.
definitely.
Would that change my fit? Like if I did get shorter cranks, would I need to come back and get an adjustment? Or
Sometimes people say, like, the theory is you would basically, if you went shorter cranks, you would increase the height of your saddle by the difference in the length.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't necessarily translate that way. Definitely, if you went to 165s, that would make a big difference.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What are you doing right now?
We just updated the DI2 firmware. Everything was out of date, and I activated your secret buttons.
Oh, I had secret buttons?
See? Do we take care of you?
What? I didn't know that this whole time.
Yeah, so everything's updated, ready to rock. Put a new chain on. We overhauled the complete bike. We did the tubeless setup, with the carbon safe bicycle grease, and just the matte finish has come off a little. Besides that, the bike is healthy and happy.
Thank you so much, James.
Oh, you're most welcome, guys.
Appreciate it. So what do you do here, James? Give me the rundown.
So my brother and I own this place. It's a family business. My main tasks and responsibilities will be the head technician, overseeing a lot of the online when it comes to the customer service, entering new products, the online sales. Heck, I gotta scrub the bathroom. I gotta take the garbage out and sweep the floor. But as a business owner, I'm happy to do it
That's amazing.
because that's all part of it.
It's all part of it. That's right. Well, thank you so much for your hard work, James.